It began as a love story people admired. Daniel and Sophia had known each other since their teenage years. From childhood friendship blossomed a bond that seemed unshakable. They were the couple others pointed to as proof that true love still existed. They built a life together in their small town, filled with trust, laughter, and dreams of the future. When Daniel received a job offer abroad, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to give them the life they had always imagined. With Sophia's encouragement, he left, promising to return soon and build their future together. What neither of them knew was that distance would reveal a truth so painful it would shatter their love forever. Before I continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We bring you powerful, real-life stories that not only captivate, but also hold lessons that can change the way you see relationships, loyalty, and life itself. At first, everything went smoothly. Daniel called every day, sent gifts, and spoke of his dreams to bring Sophia to join him once he was settled. She waited patiently, proud of him and hopeful for their future. But slowly, small changes began to appear. His calls became less frequent, excuses piled up, and his voice carried a distance she couldn't explain. Still, she held on, convincing herself it was just the stress of work and adjusting to a new country. Months turned into years, and promises of returning soon were always pushed further away. Sophia devoted herself to waiting, believing love could survive anything. Friends urged her to move on, but she refused. To her, Daniel was worth the wait. Then, one evening, a message appeared on social media that would change everything. A photo of Daniel, not alone, but standing beside a woman and two young children, smiling as if they were a family. At first, Sophia thought it was a misunderstanding. Maybe colleagues, maybe friends. But the captions and comments left no room for doubt. Daniel wasn't living abroad as the man she thought he was. He had built an entirely new life. Shocked and heartbroken, Sophia confronted him. At first, he denied it, but when faced with undeniable proof, his silence confirmed everything. The man she had loved for years, the man she had waited for faithfully, had betrayed her trust in the most devastating way. What made it even more painful was learning how long it had been going on. He hadn't just drifted away. He had chosen to live a double life, keeping Sophia hanging on to empty promises while secretly starting a new family abroad. The love story people once admired had turned into a cautionary tale of deception and heartbreak. But Sophia's story didn't end there. Her pain was real, her betrayal undeniable. Yet what she did next revealed a strength many didn't expect. Because sometimes, the days after Sophia's discovery felt like a blur. Sleep escaped her, and every corner of her home was filled with memories of Daniel. Friends tried to comfort her, telling her to let go. But letting go of someone who had been her entire world was not simple. She had invested years, her heart, and her future in him. The betrayal felt like her life had been stolen, leaving her to start from nothing. But anger soon began to grow stronger than her sadness. She replayed every promise he had made, every word that now felt like a lie. What hurt the most was not just his secret family abroad, but the realization that while she was waiting faithfully, he had been building a life that excluded her. She asked herself, was I ever truly loved, or was I only a chapter he wanted to forget? Unable to find peace, Sophia decided to confront the truth directly. She reached out to Daniel, demanding answers. This time, he could no longer hide. Over a shaky call, he admitted everything. Yes, he had met someone abroad. Yes, he had fallen in love with her. And yes, he had built a family. His voice carried guilt, but also a cold finality. To him, the chapter with Sophia was over. He even tried to justify his actions, saying life had taken him in another direction, as if betrayal could be softened with excuses. Sophia listened in silence, her heart breaking further with every word. She realized then that the man she had loved no longer existed, or perhaps he never had. What stood before her now was a stranger who had stolen her trust and left her to pick up the shattered pieces. News spread quickly through the town. People whispered, some expressing pity, others criticizing Daniel for his deception. The once admired love story had become gossip, a cautionary reminder of how even the strongest bonds can break under the weight of secrets. Sophia felt exposed, as if her private pain had become everyone's entertainment. But in the midst of humiliation and sorrow, something unexpected began to happen. Sophia found strength in places she had never looked before. Old friends reconnected, reminding her that she was not alone. She started journaling her feelings, pouring the darkness from her heart onto paper. Slowly, the act of writing turned into healing. What Daniel had done was unforgivable, but Sophia realized she had a choice: remain broken by his betrayal or rise above it. She chose to rise. She reminded herself that loyalty to the wrong person is not love, it is self-destruction. Her pain became her fuel, her heartbreak a reminder that she deserved more than lies and half-truths. The town watched as Sophia transformed. The woman who once waited endlessly for a man who betrayed her began to live for herself. Her laughter, once silenced by grief, started to return. She discovered new passions, new friendships, and most importantly, a new version of herself, stronger, wiser, and unshakable. But just when Sophia thought, the letter in Sophia's hands trembled as if it carried the weight of a ghost. For a long moment she considered throwing it away, but curiosity won over fear. She tore it open, and her eyes scanned the words Daniel had written. His tone was different this time. Not cold, not dismissive, but almost desperate. He confessed regret, admitting that while he had chosen another life, a part of him still thought of her. He wrote that he never meant to destroy her, that he hoped someday she could forgive him. And then came the most shocking part. He asked to meet her one last time. Sophia's emotions surged like a storm. Anger burned in her chest. After all he had done, how dare he ask for another chance to speak? Yet deep down, another part of her longed for closure, a final conversation to end the story that had haunted her. She spent sleepless nights debating whether to reply, knowing that whichever choice she made would shape her healing. Finally, she agreed to meet him, but on her terms. The meeting took place in a quiet cafe, far from town, where whispers could not follow her. When Daniel walked in, Sophia barely recognized him. The confident man who had once swept her off her feet looked weighed down by guilt and exhaustion. He sat across from her, eyes filled with remorse. Their conversation was raw, filled with truths that cut deep. Daniel admitted he had been selfish, chasing a life that promised excitement while leaving destruction behind. He confessed that even though he loved the family he had abroad, he never stopped thinking about Sophia. He called her his greatest mistake, the one he wished he could undo. But Sophia no longer felt the same. As she listened, she realized something powerful. She didn't need his apology to move forward. The closure she had been searching for wasn't in his words. It was in her own strength. Looking him in the eyes, she told him the truth. You didn't just betray me. You betrayed the love I gave you, and that is something you'll never get back. Daniel's eyes lowered, shame written across his face. For the first time, Sophia felt the power shift. She was no longer the broken woman begging for answers. She was the one with control. She left the cafe with her head high, leaving him behind just as he had once left her. But moving forward wasn't easy. The encounter reopened wounds, but it also gave her clarity. She finally understood that closure does not come from others. It comes from within. Sophia embraced this realization, and it became the foundation of her healing. Over time, she rebuilt her life with even more determination. She traveled, she pursued passions she had once abandoned, and she surrounded herself with people who valued honesty and loyalty. Each day, she became a living reminder that betrayal may wound the heart, but it cannot define the soul. Yet life has a way of testing even the strongest. Months later, Sophia received unexpected news. Daniel's life abroad had collapsed. His marriage was falling apart, and his choices had left him isolated. Rumors spread that he wanted to return to town permanently. For Sophia, this raised a haunting question. If he came back, would the past stay buried, or would news of Daniel's return spread like wildfire? The same small town that had once whispered about Sophia's heartbreak now buzzed with curiosity. Some pitied him, others judged him, but everyone seemed eager to see how Sophia would react. Would she forgive him, take him back, or prove once and for all that his chapter in her life was closed? When Daniel appeared again, he was a shadow of the man he had once been. The charm that once drew people in was gone, replaced by tired eyes and a heavy heart. He sought Sophia out, not with confidence this time, but with humility. He asked for another chance, not as a lover, but simply to exist in the same town without the weight of hostility. Sophia listened quietly, but she knew the answer before he even finished. She told him with calm strength that forgiveness was not the same as reconciliation. She had forgiven him in her heart, but that didn't mean he had a place in her future. She explained that the love they once shared had died the day he chose a secret life abroad. What remained was only a lesson, a painful one, but also a powerful one. Her words marked the final closure. Daniel nodded, broken but understanding. He realized that sometimes life doesn't give you second chances, and the bridges you burn cannot always be rebuilt. He walked away, and Sophia felt a sense of peace she had never known before. The town, once divided by gossip, now looked at Sophia with admiration. Her story became less about betrayal and more about resilience. She had been broken, yes, but she refused to stay broken. Instead, she transformed her pain into strength, becoming an example for anyone who had ever been betrayed, abandoned, or forgotten. Sophia's life flourished. She built new dreams, pursued passions she had once set aside, and eventually found love again. Not the kind that sweeps you off your feet with illusions, but the kind rooted in trust, loyalty, and honesty. This time, she didn't give her heart away blindly. She guarded it with wisdom, knowing that real love does not hide in shadows. And that's the message her story carries. Sometimes, the people we love the most can hurt us the deepest, but that pain does not have to define us. It can be the fire that shapes us into something stronger, wiser, and braver. So if you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, remember Sophia's journey. Closure doesn't come from the person who hurt you. It comes from the strength you find within yourself. And true love is never built on secrets. It thrives only in truth. Thank you for staying with this story. If it touched you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for daily videos that bring powerful lessons and unforgettable stories. Your support means everything. And always remember, no matter how dark the betrayal, the strength to rise again is always within you.